Chapter 31 Bai Jian's shock. The Dark World Organization's plans are unfolding. At the same time, a conspiracy against Chu Yun begins. But these low-key cultivation Chu Yun is temporarily unknown. As the school is about to start, the number of people in the Magic Capital University is gradually increasing. Lu Yin once again brought back an SSS-level talent student from another city. When this student came to Moda University, the movement caused was great, and almost everyone knew that such a genius came to the Magic Capital. Some freshmen have long regarded this genius as the new king of this new generation. Many people know the name of this student, and there are not many people who also know Chu Yun. At the same time, the story of Chu Yun smashing a bronze-level beast with 3 punches in the Magic Capital was spread among the upper echelons of the Magic Capital. But in order not to make Chu Yun so dazzling, in order to protect his safety, the vice principal of Magic Metropolis Transcendent University decided to hide this matter. Therefore, very few people in the outside world know about the fierce man Chu Yun. But among the students who were rescued by Chu Yun that day, there were still some who knew the truth. It's just that the school's top management warned me severely. Asked them not to tell anyone about it. But just the night before the opening ceremony for the freshmen, several freshmen kept talking about which SSS-level talent was the first in this class. And he also released wild words, no one among the freshmen is his opponent. A boy who was saved by Chu Yun couldn't bear it anymore. He almost couldn't hold back and told Chu Yun's story. But in the end, he was held back by his companions, which made other students even more contemptuous. The angry classmate Kikiao gave birth to smoke. He left with one last word. You never know how powerful the god of Chu is. This sentence made several people present stunned. I don't know what the other party is talking about. What Chu Shen? Is it more powerful than the newcomer Wang Shanxiong? But this idea was instantly abandoned by several people. Impossible, in this class of freshmen, no one is Shangxing's opponent. Chu Yun ignored them. Continuing to cultivate in a low-key manner, he has polished his cultivation base more and more rounded in the past few days. This made Li Feng sigh that Chu Yun is too evil. In less than 10 years, there will be a great master again in the Magic Capital. These words were not said in front of Chu Yun. It's what Li Feng accidentally revealed when he was drinking with an old friend. Magic City Army. In a vast military camp, Bai Jian was looking at the document. After the last great victory, the Guardian City wall outside the Magic City gained a brief period of peace. During this period, Bai Jian naturally returned to the camp of the Demon Capital Army. After a while, a man in military uniform walked into Bai Jian's office with a stack of documents. Commander Bai, this is the information you want. After the man in military uniform came in, he took out the document and handed it to Bai Jian. Bai Jian took it in an instant. This time the matter was more serious. Someone dared to use his daughter to threaten him. This made him very annoyed and at the same time vigilant. After returning that day, I asked someone to investigate the cause and effect of this incident thoroughly. Bai Jian kept scanning the document. After a while, Bai Jian raised his eyebrows slightly. According to the data, it was a freshman who saved Xiaolin? Are you sure you didn't investigate wrong? Bai Jian thinks that this is simply impossible. How strong a freshman who has not yet entered the school can be. He was able to save his daughter and kill the beast at the last minute. So he didn't believe what the data said. The man in the military uniform seemed to have expected it for a long time. Commander, you have read the information before making a decision. Bai Jian raised his brows and continued to read the information. By the time I read it to the end, Bai Jian had already believed half of it. Because everything is justified. But when Bai Jian put a CD into the computer to watch, Bai Jian, a strong king in the realm, was slightly moved. The picture shows a woman with a little girl carved in pink and jade. At this point fell to the ground. The crocodile-tailed beast at the back had already opened its bloody mouth and bit the two of them. The two of them closed their eyes in horror. Seeing this, Bai Jian also squeezed the armrest slightly with his palm. Obviously he looked anxious too. But just when the big tongue of the crocodile-tailed beast was about to lick the little girl's face, a figure wrapped in purple-red Lei Yan appeared in front of the crocodile-tailed beast. Although I can't see the specific face, it can still be seen that the person is indeed very young. This figure appeared in front of the woman and the little girl in an instant. He threw a punch very fast. Look at the ordinary punch. so small and powerless in front of the huge crocodile-tailed beast. Bai Jian was sweating for the young man. But the next moment, that punch shocked the King Realm powerhouse. The figure with flames and thunder all over his body, his fist instantly reached the chin of the crocodile-tailed beast. Then there was a loud bang, and the screams of the crocodile-tailed beast. Bai Jian saw a shocking scene. The big mouth of the crocodile-tailed beast started to shatter from the point where it touched the boy's fist. What followed was that the crocodile-tailed beast flew upside down and smashed into the flower bed by the roadside. Bai Jian was shocked. The young man's seemingly ordinary punch was just right in angle, strength, and explosiveness. This all shows that the teenager has a very strong control over the fighter. Then, in Bai Jian's surprised eyes, the figure sent the woman and the little girl to a safe place. Rush into the smoke again, and burst into fist again. Every time he punched, the body of the crocodile-tailed beast would disappear, and it would directly turn into mud. In the end, it turned into a mess of minced meat. Chapter 32 Bai Jian's gift for Chu Yun. Bai Jian is still watching the video about Chu Yun killing the crocodile-tailed beast. When he saw that Chu Yun's fighter was well controlled, he immediately rescued his daughter from the mouth of the crocodile-tailed beast. Bai Jian excitedly waved his fist and blasted the air. Okay, nice job. After seeing Chu Yun alive and mashing the crocodile-tailed beast into flesh, Bai Jian immediately laughed out loud. Haha, alright. You did a great job. This classmate's control of the fighter jet and the accuracy of his shots are all top-notch. Not a single move is wasted effort, every move hits the nail on the head. The angle is tricky, the strength is domineering. This is definitely a fighting genius, and is also powerful. Xiao Tang, is this person still at Magic Capital University? The man in military uniform called Xiao Tang also agreed with Commander Bai's words. When he saw Chu Yun's move, he also felt that Chu Yun was indeed an evildoer. Hearing Commander Bai's question, he immediately said, "It should still be there. Tomorrow is the opening time of the Magic Capital University. He should never leave school." That's good, Xiao Tang. How about recruiting such talents to the military? Bai Jian really likes Chu Yun and wants to recruit him to the military for training? Cough. Commander, the one from Modu University will not agree. Last time their vice principal came, they didn't say much. Obviously they didn't plan to let people know about Chu Yun's evildoer. Tang Chuan coughed dryly and said immediately, "This white commander is also a person who cherishes talents, and every time he sees a genius, he wants to recruit. I had a falling out with Transcendent University several times. In the end, the central government came to mediate. Several times, he even had a one-on-one fight with the principal of the Magic City Transcendent University. In the end, I was severely warned once, and the next time, I was relieved of the post of commander. So at this time, I heard that the commander was interested again, and hurriedly explained. Humph, that old guy will only hide and tuck away the geniuses, or send it to our army to have a future, and throw it on the battlefield to temper it. Immortality is the next realm of kings?" Tang Chuan said nothing. This is not easy to answer. Seeing that Tang Chuan didn't speak, Bai Jian was helpless. Forget it, I'll go see this kid tomorrow. By the way, recruit, in case it happens. Xiao Tang, you go with me tomorrow. By the way, remember to bring a can of the blood of the Tiger King. Just give this to Chu Yun as a reward for thanking him. Tang Chuan's expression changed. Commander, that's the blood of the king-level monster. Are you sure you want to give it to Chu Yun? Tang Chuan knew what the blood of the beast of the king's realm represented. That is something that is useful to the Great Master, and can help the Great Master to forge his body. It is of great benefit for the Great Master to enter the king's realm. However, Bai Jian didn't care. This time, thanks to this kid, he left a tiger wing of the Tiger King. Isn't there 4 jars of blood? Give that kid a jar, and I see his physical body can't seem to support his eruption. The blood of the Tiger King should be able to help him forge a tyrannical body. By the way, show the sincerity of our army and see if this kid is willing to come to the army? Tang Chuan smiled bitterly and said nothing, just a little envious of Chu Yun. The kid heard that he was in the Black Iron realm. If he used the blood of the King realm to cast his body, his talent would also be transformed. That kid's combat power may be boosted again. Thinking about it makes me envious. Then Tang Chuan left Bai Jian's office. Bai Jian watched this video over and over again. Magic Metropolis Transcendent University, in the highest conference room of the school. This time, the vice principal, Lin Gang, led the meeting. That is, the white-bearded old man. Looking at the mentors below, Lin Gang said, "Tomorrow's freshman meeting, everyone should preside well. We must let those freshmen see the strength of our motto, university, and at the same time combat the arrogance of new students." Everyone below nodded. Suddenly, the deputy dean of the Academy of Weapons suddenly opened his mouth and said, "Principal, this time, Magic City Transcendent University has recruited 2 SSS-level talented students. How to distribute this time? Hear this." Others also looked at Lin Gang, and everyone hoped to accept SSS-level talents as students. So at this time, the head of the family looked at Lin Gang with some anticipation. Seeing that everyone was concerned about this matter, Lin Gang coughed dryly. "Then I will personally accept Chu Yun, and there is another Shen Xiang. It's up to him to choose. See who he wants to go with." As soon as Lin Gang said these words, the audience was silent for a moment. They all looked at Lin Gang with a strange look. "What is Chu Yun? You just accepted it. Did you get people's consent? How can the older you get, the more shameless you are?" Everyone basically came here for Chu Yun this time. Although Shen Xiang's talent is good, he is far from Chu Yun in other aspects. Therefore, everyone's first choice is to accept Chu Yun, the evildoer, as a student. In the end, the vice principal was cut off by this old and inexperienced guy. The faces of the people were not good looking. A gold-level tutor stood up. "Vice principal, you are usually busy with official business and cultivation. I'm afraid you don't have much time to teach Chu Yun, or we'll teach you." This remark attracted everyone to raise their hands in approval and open their mouths one after another. "Yeah, Vice Principal, you are usually a busy person. If you don't have time to teach, let us share your worries for you." Seeing everyone's tacit cooperation, Lin Gang was also speechless. As for being so hypocritical for a student? Does this start to worry me? The executives of the Magic Capital University had a heated discussion on who to accept Chu Yun as a student. Vice Principal Lin Gang felt that he was more suitable. Other tutors felt that Lin Gang was too busy with official business and did not have much time to teach Chu Yun. So everyone began to persuade Lin Gang not to accept Chu Yun as a student. Let their school tutors share his worries for him? This made Lin Gang, a great master-level expert, a little unhappy. "Okay, let's see Chu Yun's own choice tomorrow." Dismissed. As soon as the Grand Master's momentum was released, the others all walked away in despair. In Chu Yun's villa. At this time, Chu Yun had just returned from the gravity chamber. Still lying in the bathtub. "Call the mechanical puppet," and the mechanical puppet immediately pours a bottle of tonic into the bathtub. The golden body lotion is instantly mixed with warm water, absorbed by Chu Yun's pores. The golden-colored tank of water gradually became clear. The muscles that Chu Yun strained in the gravity room also recovered in an instant. Chu Yun groaned comfortably. "It's so cool, I go to the gravity room every day to be abused. It was the most refreshing when I finally returned to the villa to soak in the body lotion. It should be bittersweet first, sweeter and sweeter." In just half an hour, he had absorbed the entire bottle of tonic. Chu Yun got up and went to the mirror to take a look at his perfect body. With the gradual enhancement of his physique, Chu Yun's figure is getting more and more perfect day by day. "Put on your clothes and come to the training room. Turn the tester on." Chu Yun is still punching out with a single punch based on his basic physical strength. Boom, diddy, 3000, 8900, 14500. The combat power of the basic fleshly body stopped at 14,500. Compared with the previous days, Chu Yun's basic combat power has once again increased by more than 4,000. Without further ado, Chu Yun turned his talents all over again. The 3 blood-red hook jades slowly rotated in his eyes. A purple-red lei yan was wrapped around his body, and a white halo appeared on his fist. At the same time, Chu Yun's body was running with armed arrogance. Attack power doubled again. 1 punch, boom, drop drop drop, diddy. The numbers on the test machine kept jumping. 10,000, 35,000, 48,000, 59,000. In the end, Chu Yun's ultimate combat power stopped at the terrifying number of 59. Chu Yun smiled slightly. The sins these days are not in vain. In the past few days, Chu Yun's realm is still in the middle stage of Black Iron, but his ultimate combat power has increased by 18,000. This is not the most important gain. His biggest gain is to more than double his physique. At the same time, he straightened out his extraordinary path. It gave Chu Yun a clear goal for how to cultivate next. He exhaled softly and sat down on the sofa. He glanced at the new clothes Qin Luyan bought for him. Chu Yun smiled slightly and took off his old clothes. Changed back to a set of white casual clothes. The whole person's temperament became more and more dusty. Since the last time Qin Luyan saw Chu Yun wearing old clothes. Even during the mission, I bought several sets of new clothes and sent them back. This made Chu Yun feel the caring and tenderness of Oni-san's wife. Sure enough, to find a wife, you must find someone who can take care of people. Comfortable? I made a call to Qin Luyan, but the result was not online. It seemed that he was still on a mission, and Chu Yun did not continue to disturb him. Turning off the phone, Chu Yun went back upstairs to sleep. Tomorrow is the freshman meeting. Chu Yun needs to raise his spirits in advance. Yesterday, I heard Mr. Li Feng say that this year's freshman meeting might have a good show. This made Chu Yun a little curious. With anticipation for tomorrow, Chu Yun fell into a deep sleep. The mechanical puppet closes the curtain for Chu Yun. A good night's dream. The morning sun shone through the pre-dawn darkness. It shines on the city wall of the magic city. Chu Yun got up early. Go to the cafeteria for breakfast with Mr. Li Feng. Chu Yun asked suspiciously, Teacher, didn't you say the day before yesterday that there would be a good show at today's freshman meeting? No response so far? Li Feng looked at Chu Yun with a strange expression, and he didn't point out that he was your kid. Instead, he said with a smile, Don't worry, the time is not up yet. Let's go. Let's have breakfast first. These days, Chu Yun and this teacher are not very familiar with each other, and they often eat together. Chu Yun didn't ask any more, and took Li Feng to have breakfast. The early money was paid by Li Feng. It is impossible to treat a guest, and it is impossible to treat a guest in this life. There is no word for a guest in Chu Yun's dictionary. In Li Feng's dangerous eyes, Chu Yun asked for a luxurious package. Have a nice breakfast. Chu Yun and Li Feng separated and went to the playground alone. At this time, many new students have gathered there. On the way, Chu Yun met a student who came with him. It's a boy. What is Luo Jun? Chu Yun habitually greeted. This time Luo Jun was excited and ran over in a hurry. Shen Chu, you have finally appeared. You have to go and take back the number 1 freshman. These days, Shen Xiong can be arrogant. Luo Jun was stunned, and Chu Yun was a little stunned to hear that. Cough cough. What are you talking about, classmate? Chu Yun asked suspiciously. When Chu Yun heard Luo Jun's crackling words, he was a little confused and didn't understand what Luo Jun was saying at all. Cough, what are you talking about, classmate? Chu Yun asked embarrassedly. He hadn't paid attention to the outside world for several days. Every day is practice going back and forth between the gravity room and the villa area. There is no chance to know the outside world. Looking at Chu Yun's puzzled look, and hearing Chu Yun's question, Luo Jun was also stunned. Shen Chu, you don't know about Shen Xiong? Chu Yun shook his head. I've been cultivating recently, and I haven't had time to understand. Hearing Chu Yun's words, Luo Jun also knew the reason. So, God Chu, you went to cultivate. No wonder I have never seen you before. Is such that? Then Luo Jun told Chu Yun everything about Shen Xiong. What Shen Xiong is called the number 1 freshman, was elected by all the freshmen as the new king. He also released wild words. No one among the freshmen is his opponent. Hearing this, Chu Yun was speechless. He thought what was going on, only to hear these trivial things. Chu Yun didn't take fame to heart. If you have that time, you might as well practice well. No matter how famous you are, I will kill you with 1 punch, and you will be useless. Chu Yun nodded with some interest, with a look of indifference. Now Luo Jun is worried for him. Shen Chu, you saved us that day, and we all know how powerful you are. But the school doesn't tell us it. It's too embarrassing. Why don't you go and get rid of that Shen Xiong? That way, no one will question your status as God Chu. Chu Yun, what kind of thing is this? I'm going to do what others are doing. I'm afraid it's not because of a serious illness. Chu Yun looked at the sky speechless. Seeing Chu Yun's indifferent expression, Luo Jun almost burst into tears. His fortune was saved by Chu Yun, and his admiration for Chu Yun came from the bottom of his heart. When he heard that someone else took away the glory that belonged to Chu Yun, it made him very angry. Patting Luo Jun's shoulder, Chu Yun said, "Don't care about things that don't matter. Strength is the most important thing. Let's go." Luo Jun instantly understood. Yes, God Chu was right. Strength was the most important thing. Everything else is a cloud. Now Luo Jun is no longer mentally ill, and instantly feels that Chu Yun is simply sober in the world. Looking at Chu Yun's back, I became more and more adored. Sure enough, God of Chu is still God of Chu. I ignored the thoughts of Luo Jun's brainless fans. Chu Yun quickly walked to the playground. When he came to the playground, he found that there were already no less than 200 new students. It looks like a lot, but it's actually very little. The entire Dragon Kingdom has a population of several billion, and only a few thousand extraordinary students are born every year. It's not bad that the magic capital can be divided into 200. Other extraordinary academies are even worse. Looking at the front of the playground, a teenager surrounded by a group of freshmen, Chu Yun narrowed his eyes. Nodding, the strength is not bad. They have broken through to the late stage of Black Iron. This realm is indeed the first person in the new life. Shen Xiong was surrounded by a group of people, with a proud look on his face. Suddenly he seemed to feel something and turned his head. Seeing Chu Yun looking this way, the two looked at each other. Chu Yun nodded slightly to him. Shen Xiong narrowed his eyes. He sensed danger, and he had never felt an aura of danger from a boy in white casual clothes not far away. But the threat was gone in a flash. Chu Yun had already looked away and started looking around. Shen Xiong also withdrew his gaze and didn't care too much. He could see that Chu Yun's realm was the middle stage of Black Iron. Not bad, but he felt that he was a little worse than him. Continue to enjoy the compliments from everyone. Shen Xiong is very proud. Just when Chu Yun was still looking around, whizzing, several figures quickly appeared above everyone. They are all stepping on the void, overlooking the people below. And at the very front, an old man with a white beard. His voice was loud and bright. "Welcome all students to join Magic Capital University. You have made the most correct choice in your life. My Magic Capital Transcendent University is powerful, with many resources, strong teachers, and complete training facilities. It is one of the best extraordinary academies in the whole Dragon Country. Today is the day to welcome everyone to join the Magic University, and it is also the day when everyone assigns academies and mentors. Magic University is divided into Weapons College, Tactical Guidance College, Manufacturing College, and Civilian College. You can choose which college you want to join. As for the instructor, it depends on everyone's performance. Not all trainees have access to individual guidance from a mentor. Only the top 50 students in the assessment will have the opportunity to choose a tutor alone. The other students are taking classes together and listening to the same teacher." As soon as these words came out, the students below were a little bit shocked. Someone raised their hand and asked, "Teacher, what method is used to assess?" Others also looked at Lin Gang in doubt. Lin Gang chuckled, "It's simple, 200 of you will go to the ring together, and the last 50 left will be the top 50. As soon as these words came out, everyone was slightly agitated. "Teacher, what if someone joins a gang to deal with others? Then I don't care. It is his own ability to be able to draw allies. He can only admit that he is unlucky when he is knocked out of the ring. Anyway, there are no rules to fight, and the last 50 people left can choose a mentor." Such a rule made a dozen people around Shen Xiong secretly snicker. They are all followers of Shen Xiong, and they are a small group. Shen Xiong is the strongest again. They are sure to win. When Lin Gang's assessment rules came out, all the students were shocked. Especially the last one, chaos without rules. It doesn't matter if the students form a team, as long as you have the ability to form a team, that's what you can do. This shows that you are charismatic and organized. This made the dozen people surrounding Shen Xiong secretly delighted. They were originally mixed with Shen Xiong, and they were a small gang. Plus Shen Xiong, the first freshman. These people are in the top 50, stable. Some of the more than 200 students at the moment are happy and some are sad. Chu Yun didn't care. He could hit 50, just too lazy to perform. Looking around, he found that there were still a few real talents. For example, there is a beautiful woman in a water blue dress. There is also a boy with a long sword under the high platform. The last one was a little fat man not far from Chu Yun. At this time, the little fat man was eating fried chicken, without the slightest worried expression. And these people did not choose to form a team, but alone. This made Chu Yun nodded secretly. These are not bad, they all exist in the middle stage of black iron, and their talent levels may not be weak. In terms of personality, he is more likable than that Shan Xiong. Chu Yun is constantly commenting on these people. Above, Lin Gang and everyone saw Chu Yun's expression. It's all kind of funny. The deputy dean of the Weapon Academy, Chen Yuan, said with a smile, "This kid is actually commenting on other geniuses. He's really confident? I'm not afraid of overturning." Li Feng looked contemptuous. "Old Chen, you know the shit. Do you know the concept of being able to kill a bronze-level crocodile-tailed beast with 3 punches in the early days of Heitai? Those of us are at the same level as him, and he can hit 10. Hearing this, everyone nodded slightly, and the look in Chu Yun's eyes became more and more appreciative. "You're right. But Li Feng, have you been itchy recently? Even the vice president dares to run on it. Go to the martial arts field with me to practice your hands later." Chen Yuan looked at Li Feng dangerously and said lightly, "Cough cough. Old Chen, it's small, the layout is small. I didn't notice it was your old man. I don't dare anymore." Li Feng immediately confessed, "This old guy is about to break through the master realm, and he is no match for a new gold rank. If you don't admit it, you will probably be beaten." The others looked at Li Feng with contempt. The strength is not strong, but the ability to kill is not weak. Lin Gang also smiled and said, "Who is qualified to comment on others? Only those who feel that their strength is not on the same level as others, and have surpassed others by a large margin, have the ability and qualifications to comment on others. This kid has been staying in the gravity room for the past few days, and he is about to live in the house, and the temperament of the whole person is also condensed a lot. It seems that the combat power has increased again. These little guys are not his opponents. Even that Shanxiong is not his enemy of unity. By the way, do you want me to add more food to this kid?" "How to add?" Li Feng looked at Lin Gang in surprise. "How about I ask all the students to besiege him alone, as long as they can knock Chu Yun off the ring. All the students will be rewarded with 1,000 credits." As soon as these words came out, everyone looked weird. Some sympathy looked at Chu Yun, who was still commenting on everyone below. "This kid is going to be spoiled by the principal? This is more than 200 people? All on, you can turn a bronze late stage." Chen Yuan's eyes brightened slightly and agreed. "The principal is fine, let these freshmen try the bottom of Chu Yun kid. If you win, let Chu Yun reflect on it. If you lose, you can also suppress the arrogance of others. Principal, you are still old and mean." Chen Yuan was full of admiration. "Haha, generally speaking, this is just basic exercises." Lin Gang looked at Chu Yun below with a smug look on his face. There was a look of anticipation in the corners of his eyes. With a gesture, Chen Yuan nodded. With a loud shout, "Group students go to the high platform." Hearing Chen Yuan's words, the students below all walked towards the high platform with solemn expressions. Only Chu Yun and the others did not move, until everyone else entered the high platform. Several people from Chu Yun started to set off. Shen Xiong was surrounded by everyone with a relaxed and proud face. "Later, the 12 of you will begin to clear the field. Get those guys down for me when it's almost time." Shen Xiong pointed at Chu Yun and the others lightly. The dozen or so students looked at each other with interest. "Okay boss, you are optimistic." Watch the brothers swept the quartet. "Ha ha ha, that's right. If they refuse to join the male gang, then eliminate them." "Hey, who is that? We haven't met before." A younger brother pointed at Chu Yun and said. Shen Xiong glanced at it. "Whether you've seen it or not, your strength should be pretty good. I'll be the first to hit him later." For some reason, Shen Xiong felt uncomfortable the moment he and Chu Yun looked at each other. There is a feeling of being suppressed in a flash, so he decided to do Chu Yun first. At this time, Chu Yun showed his domineering look, and the conversation between Shen Xiong and the others fell into his ears. Chu Yun looked strange, and looked at several people with some sympathy. Finally, the eyes that looked at Shen Xiong also flickered with dim light. He originally wanted to stay where he was, and as long as others didn't mess with him, he wouldn't take the initiative to pick things up. It seems that reality does not allow me to keep a low profile. Since you are courting death yourself, don't blame your buddies for being a little ruthless. Chu Yun smiled in his heart. 18/11, 2:01 p.m. Sundar, with 200 freshman students on the high platform. The atmosphere at the scene was a little tense, and everyone was on guard against each other. Fear of being kicked out of the ring early. At this time, Gao Tai's hang was divided into two formations, solo and in teams. The strongest team in the team is Shen Xiong. There are more than a dozen people around, and there is also Shen Xiong, the late Black Iron existence. High in the air. The instructors are still watching the show. Lin Gang did not immediately ask all the students to besiege Chu Yun. Rather, I want to see what choices this group of freshmen will make in this situation. On the high platform, Shen Xiong held his arms and looked at the people next to him with a playful expression. If you don't want to get hurt, let me voluntarily roll down, or don't blame me for not being able to hold on. As soon as these words came out, a few weak students felt helpless and looked at the students in the four directions. Looking at Shen Xiong and the others, they looked at each other. With a wry smile, several people chose to jump off the ring. Indeed, as Shen Xiong said, since there is no hope of winning, it is better to leave the game early. It is better than spending money and time to heal after being beaten seriously. So a few people reluctantly chose to leave. Their strength is too low, and at first glance, they come from third-tier cities. They haven't started cultivation yet, and their realm is still in the awakening stage. The choices of these people made the faces of the others on the high platform slightly ugly. Several students looked at each other and chose to form a group. Otherwise, he may be cleared out of the high platform by Shen Xiong as soon as possible. Since the choice is up, then you can't choose to admit defeat without a fight. Several people choose to give it a try, in case they succeed. Everyone has different choices, and the teachers in the sky are not just watching dramas. We are still monitoring the performance of the students. There are also teachers who record the performance of each student in the notebook. From time to time several teachers also discuss with each other. Seeing that the scene had stabilized, Chen Yuan said, "Assessment begins?" With Chen Yuan's voice falling, many students began to fight each other, albeit weakly. But they still played vigorously, and there were constant shouts and shouts on the high platform. All kinds of talent energies fly around. A student from the strength department knocked a student out of the ring with one punch. Classmates with elemental systems spew flames to attack opponents. There are also classmates from the transformation department, whose arms turn into giant claws and slap in all directions. At the same time, there are students who control a wooden stick to continuously attack other people. Chu Yun also saw a student show some kind of weird footwork and kept running on the high platform. No one can catch up to him. This made Chu Yun an eye-opener. He had never seen much talent before. I only know Qin Luyan's SS-level talent. Wanli Frozen Wujia's little loli seems to be the talent of the flame department. Then there is his destruction Lei Yan, which should be regarded as a dual type of thunder and fire. This time, it allowed him to see more innate abilities. This made Chu Yun very happy. On the other side, the 12 people around Shen Xiong formed a combined battle formation. The power is not bad, the battle formation is constantly moving, and students are constantly falling from the high platform. Shen Xiong didn't do anything, and kept looking at Chu Yun and the others who didn't move. Just when Chu Yun watched with gusto, suddenly a guy who didn't open his eyes actually called him. This made Chu Yun very helpless and had no eyesight. Haven't you seen that the masters are the last to shoot? A small black iron dared to attack himself in the early days. Chu Yun's figure was slightly to one side, and he stumped on the opponent's butt. The man fell off the high platform at once. It took a long time for him to recover, and he beat his chest and felt regretful. Finally, over time, there were more than 100 people left on the platform. More than half have been eliminated. Just when everyone wanted to continue clearing the field, Lin Gang, who was high in the sky, finally spoke up. Students below, please note that as long as the student is shot down from the high platform, all the students participating in the attack will be rewarded with 1,000 credits. While speaking, his finger pointed at Chu Yun. The words rang in the ears of everyone. Everyone was stunned, but then they looked in the direction Lin Gang pointed. They saw a boy in white casual clothes watching everyone fight. Over there, Chu Yun was also confused. What's wrong with me? What am I doing? Why is 1,000 credits awarded for shooting me down from a high platform? When did I become so valuable? Chu Yun was stunned, because he had already seen dozens of students over there looking at him with red eyes, and started rushing towards him, a look that must have knocked him down. Chu Yun looked at the sky speechlessly and roared, "Teacher, why? Hehe, there's no reason, just because it's uncomfortable to see you," Lin Gang said lightly. Others also nodded. This time Chu Yun was helpless, looking at the people who were already rushing in front of him. Chu Yun's aura suddenly rose. The domineering arrogance in the body was instantly released. A terrifying pressure emanated from Chu Yun's body. A shocking force covers all directions. Direct indiscriminate coverage. Boom! For a moment, the people who were still running were stunned. There are a few weaker ones who were directly stunned. When the test is halfway through, Lin Gang suddenly opened his mouth and told all the students to attack Chu Yun. Just shoot Chu Yun down the high platform. All students present will be rewarded with 1,000 credits. This time everyone present was excited. Even the single male is no exception. 1,000 credits is equivalent to 10 million dragon coins. Equivalent to 10 million cultivation resources. Even geniuses from his big family are tempted by it. So Shen Xiang immediately shouted. All the students bombard him. Shen Xiang shouted loudly, and the 12 younger brothers around him rushed up in an instant. Some of the small teams next to him also rushed towards Chu Yun with red eyes. Chu Yun was very confused. After questioning, the response he got made him even more confused. What does it mean to look at me not pleasing to the eye? I have nothing to do. So Chu Yun could only show a little of his strength reluctantly. The tyrannical arrogance he just obtained was instantly released. The few students who had just rushed in front of Chu Yun were instantly stunned. The domineering arrogance in Chu Yun's body continued to run, and the overwhelming aura of the king permeated the 4 directions. The few students who were close and weak were instantly stunned. The other people are still maintaining the movement of rushing, but their bodies are frozen in place. This scene made Shen Xiang and several others frown slightly. What is the situation? Is it so strong? It's just the momentum that has given these people to live. High in the sky, Lin Gang's eyes brightened, unprecedentedly bright. Surprised, the king's momentum. Incredible, this kid is born with the aura of a king. He is destined to become a king? Lin Gang was stunned. This is an aura that only the invincible king realm can produce. Unexpectedly, Chu Yun already owns it now. This is not a demon who is a demon. The people next to him also heard Lin Gang's words, and immediately looked at the boy in white below as if they had seen a ghost. Chu Yun once again broke his position in the hearts of the mentors. Hearing what the vice principal said, Chu Yun could easily step into the realm of kings as long as there were no accidents. Moreover, he is also a king-level powerhouse with invincible aura. All this raised Chu Yun's status in their hearts again. Everyone looked at each other, and they all knew that this time, the magic capital Transcendent University had found a treasure. Picked up a genius with the appearance of a king. Although everyone's breathing was a little short, they all endured and did not make a sound. Continue to look at the assessment below. Chu Yun is also somewhat satisfied with the domineering power of the overlord. With a slight lift of the arm, a spatial fluctuation appeared. The first group of more than a dozen people who came to attack Chu Yun had already been swept off the high platform. Chu Yun did not continue to move, and said, "Are you still coming?" There was anger in Shen Xiang's eyes, and all his 12 younger brothers were swept off the high platform by Chu Yun. This made him very dissatisfied. Chu Yun had just used the domineering arrogance to deliberately control the range. So some people in the distance are not affected. Shen Xiang didn't feel the momentum either. But he also knew how powerful Chu Yun was, so he didn't immediately rush up to fight against Chu Yun. At this moment, Lin Gang in the sky was happy and spoke again. Knock down Chu Yun, reward 2,000 credits. This time, the eyes of everyone who had just been frightened were red again. He started to charge towards Chu Yun, begging for money. This time, even Shen Xiang, the blue-clothed beauty, the sword-backed boy, and the little fat man eating fried chicken rushed over together. This made Chu Yun look faint, and ask loudly, "Teacher, if I defeat them, what reward can I give?" "What reward do you want?" Lin Gang said. "I want 10 high-level body-strengthening liquids, 10 high-level nutritional medicines, 10 talent transformation pills. That's it." Chu Yun was stunned for a moment. Originally, he just talked about it casually, to see if he could get some benefits. But unexpectedly, the other party actually agreed. This made Chu Yun a little excited. Looking at the people rushing over, it seems that all they see is money. Hey hey. Smile. Chu Yun's figure suddenly rose several meters. In the blink of an eye, he jumped out into the middle of the crowd. One palm kept slapping in all directions. Wrapped in purple-red Lei Yan, armed with domineering blessings, Chu Yun's ability to shake the fruit was slightly revealed by Chu Yun. The space began to tremble slightly. The next moment everyone saw an incredible scene. Chu Yun slammed it down with one palm, as if pressing the entire space under the palm of his hand. The space is pressing down, and a terrifying pressure appears. A harsh voice rang in the ears of everyone. Everyone only felt a sense of danger that made the hair stand on end. Just as he was about to fight back, he heard the blast of air in his ears. Boom! Everyone was thrown out like sacks, dizzy and don't know what's going on. All of this happened in an instant, and Chu Yun had already shot out more than a dozen students. The figure does not stop, and continues to shuttle in the field. Everywhere you go, someone is bound to fly out. Chu Yun's strength was very well controlled, and he didn't beat them seriously. Just make them feel a little pain in the face. Dong dong, boom, after several consecutive loud bangs. The teachers at high altitude took a closer look, and there were only 5 people left on the high platform. Chu Yun fluttered in white clothes, while Shen Xiong, the blue-clothed beauty, the boy with the sword on his back, and the little fat man who fell from the fried chicken looked sluggish. When he got Lin Gang's answer, Chu Yun became serious. And when Chu Yun got serious, everyone present was destined to not have a good time. Even Luo Jun, a die-hard fan of Chu Yun, was gently beaten by Chu Yun. Go away, don't make money in front of me. So after a few loud bangs, there were only 5 people left on the high platform. Chu Yun in white clothes fluttering. On the opposite side are the sluggish Shen Xiong, the beautiful woman in blue, the boy with the sword on his back, and the little fat man whose fried chicken fell off. The teachers in the sky were dumbfounded. He knew that Chu Yun was strong, but he didn't know that Chu Yun was so strong. In just a few breaths, dozens of students were cleared out. Sure enough, his destruction Lei Yan has mutated, and he actually has a weak space attribute. The power is much stronger. Lin Gang looked at Chu Yun's movements and gave the same answer as Qin Long. Chen Yuan nodded. He has used his talent very skillfully, and has been able to control his talent very delicately. I don't think those students who fell off the high platform were hurt too much. Hehe, that's why I value this kid. He has principles for his own people, and he is extremely cruel to the enemy. You didn't see what happened to the crocodile-tailed beast. You didn't know the scene. Tisk tisk. There's only a small pile of minced meat left. Speaking of which, Lin Gang sighed a little. Principal, now Chu Yun is facing Shen Xiong from the Shen family, Lan Yi from the Lan family, Yan Yunjian from the Northern Sword City, and Bailey Yuan from the Donglin Bailey family. Do you think Chu Yun can still win easily? Li Feng looked at the remaining 5 people on the high platform and asked. Others are also looking at Lin Gang. Victory will definitely win, and the specific price to pay depends on how hard the other 4 can work hard. Li Feng nodded, too. This kid Chu Yun hasn't shown his full strength yet. I just don't know if these 4 people can make Chu Yun exert all his strength. Below, Chu Yun looked at the 4 of them indifferently. Everyone, do you still want to fight? Don't think that simply knocking other people off the high platform can make me Shen Xiong admit defeat. Whoever wins and who loses will only know after the fight. The genius Shen Xiong also began to be serious at this time, no longer arrogant and domineering. Obviously, he is quite jealous of Chu Yun. Shen Xiong, although I hate you very much, you're right this time. We won't admit defeat so easily. Lan Yi's red lips lifted lightly, and her sapphire eyes stared at Chu Yun and said, Then what, classmate Chu Yun, if you pay me for fried chicken, how about I admit defeat? The other 3, is this what people say? We're here to boost our morale, and you're telling me about fried chicken. Even the sword-backed boy was speechless. But the next moment, something even more surprising happened. That's not good. It's impossible to lose, or you will admit defeat, or you will fight. When Chu Yun heard the little fat man asking him to lose money, he immediately refused. From childhood to adulthood, apart from Qin Luyan, No one has been able to make Chu Yun suffer a penny, not even a commissary owner, so Chu Yun resolutely rejected Bai Jian's proposal. The conversation between the two made several others collapse. We are seriously evaluating whether it is good or not, and you are actually discussing whether to accompany a fried chicken. Are you two still alone? Shen Xiong was the first one who couldn't stand it and shouted. A long knife suddenly condensed in his hand. The long knife is beautiful. As if it existed in reality. The long knife brought a faint glow, carrying the killing energy, and slashed at Chu Yun with one knife. Lan Yi, a willow tree suddenly appeared on top of her head. The willow tree was bright blue, very beautiful. The countless branches on the tree are constantly piercing the void and attacking Chu Yun. The long sword behind Yan Yunjian was unsheathed in an instant, stabbing Chu Yun's eyebrows with a sharp sword. This sword edge was a little too sharp, causing Chu Yun's brows to sting slightly. The three-color domineering operates independently in an instant, predicts the movements of everyone, strengthens its own defense and shocks the king's aura. The little fat man was still struggling that Chu Yun would not return his fried chicken, but he finally did it. The arms suddenly swelled and turned into the paws of two giant bears. A hug towards Chu Yun, as if to kill Chu Yun in his arms. Chu Yun's expression was slightly moved, and the ultimate combat power of the three had exceeded 10,000. Go straight to the bronze level. But the four of them are only black iron level strengths. The highest realm is Shen Xiong, the strength of Heitai in the later stage. But the ultimate combat power of Shangxing's outbreak is almost breaking through 20,000. It can be seen that the talents of the four are still quite powerful. But unfortunately they met Chu Yun. This is a man they can remember for a lifetime. There were 3 blood-red hooks in his eyes that circulated endlessly. The purple-red Lei Yan was wrapped around him, and an invisible circle of white light appeared in his hands. The 3-color domineering within the body is constantly running, seeing the color domineering to predict the direction of the bombardment of everyone. Armed domineering enhances Chu Yun's attack and defense. The overlord's domineering arrogance began to intimidate the four, making the four feel the coercion of the king. Chu Yun squeezed his palm slightly into the air. His 5 fingers were bent, and his fingers were in the shape of a twisted flower. Then he clenched his fist instantly, as if holding the world in his hands. For a moment, Shen Xiong and the four only felt that the world was pale, their 5 senses were lost, and their eyes were white. The hair on the skin is standing upright, and the sense of crisis is extremely strong. The next moment, Chu Yun pulled this space, and a huge force erupted in this space. The violent vibration nearly made the 4 of them fall apart. A devastating force begins to erupt. With a flat punch, Chu Yun unleashed a terrifying power. Boom, boom, ding, hum, clang. The sound of metal collision, the sound of knives, the sound of swords, and the sound of breaking branches sounded at the same time. The next moment, the 4 flew out backwards. All fell to the bottom of the high platform, coughing up blood incessantly. There was a violent shock in all the internal organs. With the sound of metal collision, the sound of knives, swords, and the sound of branches breaking down. The 4 talented students have already fallen from the high platform. Blood spilled from his mouth, and his internal organs were shaken. From time to time, the students below who were swept away in advance opened their mouths wide. It was difficult to speak for a while. They only saw Shen Xiong, Lan Yi, Yan Yunjian, and Bai Jian attacking Chu Yun together. But they didn't see how Chu Yun knocked the 4 off the high platform. In just a moment, the strongest attack of the 4 was disintegrated and fell to the high platform. This scene made everyone present stunned. After a while, there was a sound of inhalation on the playground. So what, isn't Shen Xiong the first freshman? Why not Chu Yun's enemy of unity? How do I know? Usually Zhao Lin and the others always say that Shen Xiong is the #1 freshman, and no one comes out to refute it. Who knew there was such a great god in the school? Haha, see it, you. See the power of God Chu. Damn, I've been choked to death these days. It has long been said that God Chu is an invincible existence. If you don't believe it, it's alright, Chu Shen will directly suppress you all. God Chu finally took back the glory that belonged to him. Luo Jun frantically looked at the white figure from above, and the corners of his mouth were shaking with excitement. Even if Chu Yun also shot him off the stage, he is still a loyal fan of Chu Yun. Hearing this, everyone else was speechless. When did you say that Chu Yun is the first? You just said something inexplicable and left, so how would we know? Shen Xiang's younger brothers looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Originally, he was arrogantly preparing for a big fight, but he didn't expect to end up like this. More than half of the remaining students were suppressed by Chu Yun alone. Is that human being? His boss Shen Xiang is not at the same level as him? Just when several people were confused, Shen Xiang stood up with difficulty. With complicated eyes, he looked at Chu Yun above him. Can you tell me what your ultimate combat power is? The other three also stood up and looked at Chu Yun. They didn't have any contact with Chu Yun at all, they were just defeated by Chu Yun's fist style. They only felt a terrifying pressure sweeping over them. It made them lose their senses in an instant, and they fell off the high platform after sobering up. Sorry, this is really hard to say. Chu Yun heard Shen Xiang's words and refused to answer. With so many people at the scene, Chu Yun was crazy to reveal his true combat power. Shen Xiang was slightly disappointed, but then he stopped asking. He knew that he was abrupt and shouldn't have asked people directly. I lost this time, but I will definitely defeat you in the future. Shen Xiang finally said something and left the playground silently. The back is a bit lonely, which makes people sigh. High in the sky, a female instructor looked at Shen Xiang who was far away and said, Shen Xiang has been hit a lot this time, let's see if he can get out of this hurdle himself. It should be fine, it's just hard to accept it for a while. But this is fine, this blow is good for him, as long as he can cross this hurdle, he will be a different single hero. A teacher also looked at Shen Xiang's leaving back and responded. Lan Yi and the others did not leave, but looked at Chu Yun curiously. They wanted to take a good look at the boy who beat them with one punch. Chu Yun smiled and faced the crowd, his white clothes swaying slightly. What an exiled fairy. Seeing Lan Yi a little lost, she suddenly felt that Chu Yun was so handsome. But then he slapped himself secretly. Since he is not an LSP, how could he be influenced by Chu Yun's handsomeness? Chu Yun put away his smile and looked up at the sky. Teacher, I won this time, right? Lin Gang laughed. Forget it. The others also looked at Chu Yun with admiration. I can't wait to accept Chu Yun as a student now. Okay, this assessment is over, and the instructor will announce your grades tomorrow. Everyone has fallen down the high stage this time, and the ranking is calculated according to the score. After the scores are released tomorrow, everyone can choose their own tutors. Let's go everyone. The people below were relieved to hear this. At the same time, I am also a little happy. If the ranking is calculated according to the score, it is much better than the calculation according to the strengths. They are weak, but there are opportunities for those who are doing well. Just before everyone wanted to leave the playground, the space above the playground suddenly burst open. A middle-aged man in a majestic military uniform walked out of it with a person. Lin Gang's face changed, but he was slightly relieved when he saw the person coming. He thought it was a powerful alien attack. The others were surprised when they found out that they were coming. What is this guy doing here? Then he seemed to think of something, and looked at the person who came vigilantly. Bai Jian, why do you come to the Magic City Transcendent University so well? Lin Gang also looked at Bai Jian with a vigilant expression, and his body covered Chu Yun intentionally or unintentionally. The people who came were Bai Jian and Tang Chuan. Bai Jian is very helpless. These people are putting him like a thief. It made him a little annoyed by the military commander. You are so protective of me, how do you ask me to recruit Chu Yun? Lin Lao, I'm not here to thank you for asking for help last time, don't guard me like a thief. Bai Jian said helplessly, but his eyes kept looking at Chu Yun behind Lin Gang. In fact, Bai Jian came to the sky above the Magic City Transcendent University a long time ago. It's just that he hid his figure and was not discovered by others. Even Lin Gang didn't care. He saw the scene of Chu Yun suppressing the audience, which made him even more sure of his intention to recruit Chu Yun into the army. But the moment he appeared, these guys from the Magic Capital University were guarding him like a thief. Lin Gang even blocked Chu Yun directly, obviously not wanting to find out for him. Tell me, this time you came here to see that genius again. Single male? Blue Yi? Or Yen Yunjian? Lin Gang didn't mention Chu Yun at all, and the little fat man Baileywan was also ignored by him. Haha, don't say that, Mr. Lin, I'm not that kind of person. By the way, the one below is Chu Yun? I came this time mainly to thank classmate Chu Yun for saving my daughter. Not here to find someone you want? Bai Jian laughed and said. As soon as he said these words, Lin Gang's expression changed. What is it that you are not here for anyone? I think you are here for Chu Yun. This time, several mentors also began to block Chu Yun behind. It's nothing. As a member of the Dragon Kingdom, if you see a beast making trouble, of course you have to come to the rescue. It would take Commander Bai to make a trip in person. Classmate Chu Yun is the first freshman of my magic capital university. Doing these things is not for being thankful or not. They are all contributing to the Dragon Kingdom. So we just have to receive Commander Bai's thanks. When Lin Gang talked about the first person of the freshmen, his tone was deliberately aggravated. The meaning is obvious. Chu Yun is the signboard of this year's Magic City Transcendent University. If you want it, there is no way. This time, Bai Jian was even more helpless, and this old guy said it all for this sake. Obviously, he doesn't want to let Chu Yun leave, so Bai Jian will also make more moves. Xiaotang, take out the beast blood of the winged tiger king and give it to Chu Yun as a gift of thanks. I think his physical body seems to be unable to support his explosive strength, and the blood of this king-level monster can also help him forge his physical body. As soon as these words came out, Lin Gang's eyelids jumped wildly, and this guy really was a bad guy. Actually, the blood of the monsters in the king's realm is willing to give away. I'm afraid it's not. Just because I want to thank Chu Yun, it's obvious that I want to rob Chu Yun. The classmates below saw Bai Jian's appearance and were immediately shocked. It actually appeared out of thin air. This is the ability to tear the space. Is it a king of the realm of power? By the way, wearing a military uniform, is it the god of war in the army? Someone recognized Bai Jian, and was immediately overwhelmed with excitement. This is the god of war of the demon capital army, and has always guarded the demons from being invaded by the second beast's lair. This is the idol of all my classmates. But when they heard that the idol was here to thank Chu Yun, everyone looked at Chu Yun in surprise again. What kind of big thing Chu Yun did? He was able to let the god of war personally thank him. Luo Jun next to him was very excited. Others didn't know, but a few of them knew. At this moment, they all looked at Chu Yun excitedly, happy for him. Everyone below was excited, and everyone in Lin Gang above was a little helpless. Since everyone is like this, it's not a good thing to continue to stop them. Let's go to the meeting room and talk. Lin Gang said helplessly, and then the energy made a big move. Chu Yun on the high platform was caught by him, and the figure disappeared in the blink of an eye. Others also followed. Bai Jian smiled, his figure moved, and he rushed to the conference room with Tang Chuan. The students below all left with regrets. Some envy Chu Yun. To be able to get the thanks of the Demon City God of War is simply something that everyone can't imagine. In the conference room, Chu Yun looked shocked. He was about to leave just now, but was caught by a big energy hand. He lost consciousness in an instant, and after returning to his senses, he appeared in a spacious conference room. When he saw that it was Lin Gang, he was relieved a lot immediately. A group of figures took their seats. In the end, Bai Jian, who was wearing a military uniform, sat directly next to Chu Yun. This startled Chu Yun. The name of this person, Chu Yun, is still known, but it is such a close contact. Chu Yun was slightly uncomfortable. You are very good. Thank you for saving my daughter and a large number of ordinary people that day. I am here today mainly to thank you. Bai Jian looked at Chu Yun and said, and then took a can of blood from Tang Chuan and handed it to Chu Yun. This is the blood of the Yuhu King. It can help you forge your body, so let's take it as a gift to thank you. When Chu Yun heard Bai Jian's words, he thought of the little girl and woman he saved that day. Looking at the blood in Bai Jian's hand again, he shook his head. I don't need such a commander Bai, that's what I should do. Since I have that ability, I'll definitely go back and do it. I'm sure other people will see it and make the same choice as me. I will accept your wishes, but the gift is too expensive. I cannot accept it. Although Chu Yun likes money, he only likes the money he deserves. When everyone in Lin Gang heard Chu Yun's words, they admired Chu Yun more and more. There was a smile on his face. He said, well, under the circumstances, as long as they are good citizens of the Dragon Kingdom, they will choose to shoot. Haha, well said, but you really have to accept this gift. If it wasn't for you that day, I wouldn't have been able to seriously injure the Winged Tiger King and get this blood. so this should have your share. As he said that, he quickly put the can of blood into Chu Yun's hand and looked at Chu Yun with admiration. Chu Yun was a little helpless and looked at Lin Gang. Lin Gang thought for a while, then nodded. Since Commander Bai said so, just accept it. Chu Yun had no choice but to accept it, otherwise the boss thought he didn't give him face. Student Chu Yun, he is not interested in joining the military either. As long as you join the military, I will give you all the responsibility immediately. How do you think about it? Seeing that Chu Yun took the blood of the beast, Bai Jian took advantage of the victory to pursue and hurriedly asked. This made Chu Yun a little stunned, and the expressions of Lin Gang and the others changed. Sure enough, this guy really came to recruit Chu Yun. Cough cough. Commander Bai, this is inappropriate for you. Classmate Chu Yun is the signature of this year's Magic Capital University. How can you steal it? Lin Gang had an unhappy expression on his face, and his tone was a little unkind. Elder Lin, what you said is wrong. They are all geniuses of the Dragon Kingdom, and they are all serving the country there. The main thing is to see what Chu Yun thinks. Bai Jian's face is also quite thick, and replied, Chu Yun has already entered my Modu University. It is impossible to join your army again. That's not necessarily true. I think the military environment is more suitable for Chu Yun. Only there can let Chu Yun grow up quickly. No, or I'll call the principal back and let him chat with Commander Bai. Cough cough. Don't need it. I'll ask Chu Yun, in case Chu Yun is willing. Others watched their eyes and noses and watched their hearts, listening to the two big bosses continue to quarrel. Chu Yun also looked helpless. Bai Commander, I have joined the Magic Capital Transcendent University. Thank you for your kindness. But sorry, I may not be able to join the military. Seeing that the two bosses almost fought for him, Chu Yun was still very moved. But Qin Luyan is in the Transcendent University of the Magic Capital, so it is impossible for him to go to the military department. In the end, they could only speak to interrupt the quarrel between the two. As soon as Chu Yun said this, Lin Gang felt relieved and looked at Bai Jian with a proud face. Bai Jian was a little disappointed, but also knew Chu Yun's decision. Finally, he said, Student Chu Yun can think about it again. We have always had a position for you in our military department. Don't give me an answer right away. Just think about it and see you next time. Bai Jian seemed to be afraid of Chu Yun's immediate rejection, so he disappeared with Tang Chuan.